Wielding a paintbrush as a unifying force, the sculptor with a royal seal of approval, and a look back at Da Vinci's life through drawing 500 years after his death. That's all coming up in today's show. We're starting off with someone who went one better than getting his face on the cover of Time magazine. Nelson Makamo had his painting featured, as he was named one of the people changing how we see the world. The South African artist is known for his portraits of children, often wearing colourful glasses. The universal themes in his work have impressed collectors like Oprah Winfrey, and an exhibition of Makamo's paintings is now on show in Paris. Clovis Casali and Julien Sauvager went to meet him.
With his charcoal drawings and colourful pieces, Nelson Makamo gives a voice to the children of Limpopo, a rural province of South Africa where he was born.
My work has a drawing element in it. There's movement. Drawing has always been part of me since an early age. Art doesn't know color. It's a visual communication. So even if you can use someone who's like you as a point of reference, it depends on how you're using them when you present them. Are you going to use them as like a metaphor where you allow others to see themselves through that as well?
For him, his trademark glasses are a symbol of knowledge, an item shared by people across the world and throughout history. He cares about what unites and has a strong following. Famous fans like TV star Oprah Winfrey, or this Nigerian collector keen to catch the exhibition at the Louis Gallery in Paris.
Artists anywhere else in the world are the same.
Right.
We wake up and face the same challenges. Doesn't matter whether you're in France, whether you're in America, whether you're in Africa. The first thing that we have is a sensitivity that we have towards humans, our environment as well. And part of us is to see what we can do to document and celebrate that particular moment in time.
He is one of the rising figures in the contemporary art world today. Collectors played a key role, whether it's in South Africa, the US, or France. High-level people had a real feel for him, for his work, and so they decided to follow him.
Along with Johannesburg, where he's based, and Berlin, Paris holds a special place in his heart.
And as a creative, you don't feel limited. France is always allowed and give any person who embraces culture. Being on the cover of Time, the build-up to that was I started a show here, and we moved the show to New York. So I think that it has always been a unique entry. When you come as immature, they allow you to grow.
While traveling is essential for Makamo, he regrets not mastering other languages like French. Instead, he relies on his art, and it speaks for itself.
This next artist wanted to be a painter, but a twist of fate saw him embrace sculpture instead. Paul Day is responsible for the monumental statue which greets visitors as they alight from the Eurostar in London's St Pancras train station. Thanks to a key commission from the British royal family, the sculptor's pieces are now dotted around the world. A new exhibition of his work is currently on display here in France, in Pont-l'Évêque. France 24's Lucie Barbazange caught up with the artist at his studio in Burgundy.
An imposing beast with soaring muscles. The Charolais, used to make Burgundy beef.
The Charolais cattle are sort of iconic in this region.
British sculptor Paul Day has been living in Burgundy for 25 years. He has created works of art shown across the world, and most of them were conceived on this farm.
This is where I spend most of my time working, where I draw, design, and build most of my sculptures.
The Battle of Britain Monument, the Queen Mother Memorial. Prince Charles first spotted Paul Day's work, and soon enough, he conquered the heart of the entire royal family.
To have the honour of making the monument to the grandmother of the Prince of Wales seemed like a nice thing to do, given that when I was an art student, I was given a grant by the Prince of Wales Business Trust.
A remarkable success for a sculptor who wanted to be a painter. He was refused entry to 2 fine art schools before turning to sculpting, but drawing never really left him.
Working in clay, which is a monochromatic material, what you're doing is you're modeling the material to capture the light or create shadows. And so it's the equivalent of drawing in 3 dimensions. And I think that's where I felt particularly comfortable. Working in relief it's a marriage between drawing and sculpture.
His original use of perspective and his representations of urban life have made Paul Day a coveted artist. In 2007, he was chosen to create an iconic, romantic work, the King's Cross St. Pancras Station statue in London.
I didn't use real-life models for these 2 figures. I wanted to create characters that were somehow timeless in appearance, and I also wanted to avoid the question of ethnicity, because in 500 years' time, in any case, we don't know what English people will look like. There's so many mixes.
500 years. Paul Day knows his work will outlive him. He's sculpting for eternity.
Next to an artist who's also known for his royal connections, Leonardo da Vinci's work is currently on show at the Queen's Gallery in Buckingham Palace. The British monarchy own a significant collection of his drawings, and over 200 of those sketches are now on display, including one of only 2 known portraits of da Vinci himself. Lauren Bertischer has the story.
It's been billed as the biggest exhibition of Leonardo da Vinci's work in over 65 years. Inside the Queen's Gallery in Buckingham Palace, visitors can admire some 200 drawings signed by the Renaissance master, a series of sketches that have been kept in Britain's royal collection for centuries and which could help shed new light on da Vinci's creative process.
Well, we think of Leonardo today primarily as a painter who dabbled in other fields, but the drawings show that Leonardo was a serious practitioner of sculpture, architecture, engineering, and a scientist in many different fields. Drawing was a way of Leonardo to prepare his artistic projects, of course, but it was also his way of thinking on paper. He used drawing to exercise his mind, to capture the world around him, to test his understanding.
For Leonardo da Vinci, who only completed around 20 paintings in his lifetime, drawing was the laboratory where he gave shape to his ideas. Yet one of the exhibition's central pieces does not bear his signature, a newly identified sketch of da Vinci, drawn by one of his assistants, one of only 2 known portraits of the Italian master.
We know by comparison with Leonardo's only authentic surviving portrait that this must be a portrait of Leonardo, or a depiction of him in a casual moment. And it captures Leonardo not when he's posing for a formal portrait, but in an off-guard moment, looking a little bit melancholy perhaps.
The exhibition, which runs until October 13th, marks the 500th anniversary of da Vinci's death, giving visitors unprecedented insight into one of the most gifted and exceptional minds in history.
And staying with Leonardo da Vinci, a new exhibition here in France aims to uncover the naked truth about his most famous subject, the Mona Lisa. The Château de Chantilly, to the north of Paris, has long been home to an enigmatic study of a nude purchased by the Duc d'Aumale in the 19th century. The origins of the charcoal drawing have long been a mystery to art scholars. Now, new research shows this could well be the work of da Vinci and could have been made in parallel with the world-famous portrait, which is now hanging in the Louvre. To Italy now, where visitors will have yet another reason to visit one of the world's most important art galleries. The Uffizi Museum in Florence is opening 14 new rooms to accommodate 105 artworks, many of which had not been on public display for years. The new space will accommodate paintings by Tintoretto and the Venetian master Titian, whose Venus of Urbino will take pride of place. This comes after nearly a year of renovations and technical advances for the museum. The gallery's director tells us more.
About 1/3 of these paintings have not been on view recently, so it is not only possible to make discoveries thanks to the new lighting technology on the paintings to see them much better, but it is also possible to see works that you have never seen before.
And we're signing off with some music as Paris hosts the annual We Love Green Festival in the Vincennes Park. Headlining this year, Erykah Badu, Christine and the Queens, Tame Impala and FKA Twigs, and crossover flamenco star Rosalia will be gracing the stage as well. We'll leave you with her collaboration with reggaeton star J Balvin, Con Altura. Otherwise, check out our website for more arts and culture, and we're also on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 just after this.
Vivo rápido y no tengo cura. Iré joven para sepultura. Pongo rosas sobre el Panamera. Pongo palmas sobre la Guantanamera. Llevo camarones la guantera. Hago pa' mi gente.